If you are a girl who is single in your 30s or even younger or older, and you are finding yourself in a position where you feel stuck, everyone around you is getting married, moving on with their lives, then this video is for you. I'm going to give certain tips and ideas on what we can do to navigate this season of life. I know it can be a very difficult season. I know it can feel very lonely. It can really feel like you're stuck. It can bring about feelings of sadness and anxiety and a lot of frustration. Trust me, I know. I've been there and I am there. But I also know that life is short and I don't want these days and years to go by with negative feelings. And it's very easy to get caught up in these negative feelings. I don't want you to feel bad because this is an epidemic. This difficulty in getting married is an epidemic. And every generation will have its own difficulties. And that's what it says in Islam as well. And I believe that. I really believe that. And I believe that for our generation, the epidemic is having difficulty in getting married. So, with that being said, let's get started on some of these tips. So, number one, and this is for my Muslim audience, I think a lot of my content is going to be, I'm Muslim myself, and I think a lot of my content is going to be geared towards Muslim females. Of course, if you're not Muslim, that's fine. If my content is able to help, great. But for those of you who are Muslim listeners, my first advice would be to really try to develop your relationship with Allah. Focus on your deen. Try to develop your faith. And this doesn't have to be any grand gesture. It can be something as simple as picking up a small book on the Prophet. I ordered this book from Amazon on some of the women in Islam that are highly renowned. So it included Maryam, it included the Prophet's daughter, Prophet's wives, and I was able to learn a little bit about their life and how they were and their personalities. But that's just one example. Getting a book is just one example. You can focus on your istighfar. That's something that I also got into as well, trying to do my istighfar during my summer walks to manage my anxiety. You can, of course, try to pray on time, try to do all your prayers, wake up for the tahajjud. There's so many things, but my point is, it really can be anything, you know? And I hope it's something that you genuinely want to try. That's why I'm trying to talk about things that I genuinely wanted to try. I genuinely want to try Istighfar because I go on walks pretty regularly and I thought this would be a great way to add that in. I genuinely wanted to learn a little bit more about the stories of the women in Islam. I also signed up, and this is something I've never done before. I signed up for a dua class this Ramadan where a few of us girls and myself, we challenged ourselves to memorize 12 duas. And the class was very informative. I loved that class. Initially going into it, I really didn't know what I was signing up for, but as we went through these classes, the instructor, she was really great. She went through the duas, she explained the context behind it, who said it, which prophet said it, why did they say it, what situation were they in. And so you not only learn to memorize the dua, but you also approach reciting the dua with a heart that's genuine, right? Because you imagine, you know the history behind it. And so you are able to have some feeling for it. So that's one. Develop your relationship with Allah. At the end of the day, all of this is a test. Life is very short, and we got to prepare for the afterlife. So we might as well use this free time that we have. The second tip is your physical health. Please, please do not ignore your physical health. Sign up for a workout class, go to the gym, do your walks, whatever that looks like. But please do not disregard your physical health. This is an investment. Even Allah will question you on how you treated your body while you were here in this lifetime. Allah will ask you that. And so you want to be able to respond positively. You want to be able to say that yes, I exercised, I ate healthy. Look up recipes that are healthy and try to make them. It really take care of yourself, your skin, your hair. I oil my hair very regularly with castor oil. It's the best. It's thick and it smells not so great, but it's the best. I take care of my skin, have a simple but functional skincare routine that you are able to commit to. I use some basic ingredients. Nivea is the best. I have dry skin and I've used the fancy Tatcha, the fancy this, that, but nothing beats Nivea as a moisturizer. I use a sunscreen. I use a vitamin C product that I am really happy with, and glycolic acid, and that's about it. Those are my top ingredients. If once in a while I see some hyperpigmentation, I will use tranexamic acid, but that's about it. So find something that you believe in that you can stick to consistently and do it. Take care of your skin health, your physical health. Take care of it. The third point was to develop your relationships, the existing relationships that you have. It is encouraged in our religion to maintain ties of kinship. It's actually not just encouraged, but I think it's like necessary, right? Maintain ties of kinship. If you have siblings, hang out with them, go out on a brunch date, go out to do something together. Take your parents, if you have your parents near you, take your parents to a road trip, go travel somewhere with them. If there's a friend you haven't spoken to in some time, reach out. I know it can be very awkward if you're not in the habit of reaching out, but I promise you, nobody really cares about what you are in the habit of and of not doing. Just do it and see where it goes, right? Maintain those relationships. You have the time now, invest in them, put in the work. I noticed in my 20s, I didn't have to put in the work. The relationships just built on its own. It was almost spontaneous. Plans would just happen. Whereas in my 30s, I realized you actually have to pencil it in. You actually have to find a time that works, book it, make it happen. And that actually leads to my next point, which is pencil in the big events. Okay. Use this time in your 30s to do some great things, go travel, take a class that might maybe help you in your career, take a class that might help you learn something for a hobby, right? But really pencil it in. The reason why I'm emphasizing that is because we it might be easy just to say, hey, yeah, I want to travel here, yes, I want to go there. Like for me personally, I had to pencil in the traveling because I would say things like, yes, I want to travel, I want to go here, there, but I don't have anyone to go with, or, it's too hard to coordinate with somebody. So, yeah, but I'm sure it'll happen. And the next thing I know, a whole year is gone and I haven't traveled, right? You actually have to make it happen, book it, confirm with that friend, hey, are you free this weekend? No, not this week. Okay, how about that month? How about this month? Right? Pencil it in months in advance. Your birthday's coming up, figure out what you want to do months in advance and who you want to do it with so that they're booked, right? If it's solo, get it done solo, but get it done, okay? And get it done in advance, plan it in advance. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. And years are going to go by and you're going to realize that you didn't do anything. And it's hard. I know it's hard. It's hard to, especially when it comes to solo things, it's hard to make that happen because you just don't feel motivated, but just close your eyes and book it, I promise every time I've done something, travel with a friend, traveled on my own, I've always come back so refreshed. And I look back at the pictures and it just brings so much joy in my heart. So do that for yourself. Okay. Pencil in the big events. And my last tip, and this comes from the fact that we can't always count on these big events, right? We can't always count on taking that class, or, it's just on a day to day. The biggest struggle for me, at least, was finding myself sad and sort of being in a bit of a funk. And the day just goes by feeling wasted. And during those moments, it's so important to know yourself and know what brings you joy and to find those little moments of bliss that you're able to curate for yourself. And that's my tip. Figure out what are the little moments that bring you bliss. For me, if I'm in that funk, all I got to do is brush my hair, put some moisturizer on. If I don't feel like wearing makeup, that's fine. But ideally, yeah, put a little bit of makeup on so that I feel refreshed. Go outside, find a coffee shop, go to that cafe, order my coffee, and just sit and sip on my coffee. Ideally, I'll have a notebook with me. Maybe I'm feeling like writing something down, maybe not. But at the very least, it's me, my coffee, and the ambiance in the cafe. And my goodness, it changes everything. It really does. It's a very peaceful moment, a moment where you're able to look around you, smell the coffee, taste your coffee. You can touch your mug, the warm mug, all of your senses. They're alive and you can feel grateful. You can feel grateful that you have this body filled with these senses that you're able to use and that can give you joy, right? And already you're somewhat grateful, and then if you add on to that an exercise where you practice gratitude journaling, even better. But at the very least, at the end of the day, if nothing happened that day, at least you were able to curate a very beautiful, blissful moment. I think that has been the biggest lessons learned in my 30s. Everything I said, I have been doing in my 20s as well, traveling, working on my Deen, prioritizing my physical health. I've always gone to the gym. I really do enjoy working out. I've had friends and we do activities together. So all of that sort of I took with me to my 30s, but this curating moments of for yourself of bliss, that's something I had to very intentionally learn in my 30s. Because you're not always going to have the friends. You're not always going to feel like doing things. You're not always going to feel good. And it is your responsibility to keep yourself content and happy. So please do find what those moments are for you so that you can exercise those moments whenever you need to. And it's not something you have to go out of your way to do. It can even just be going for a walk. It could even be taking a shower. Oh my goodness. The impact that a nice, long, hot shower has, where you are using your favorite body scrub, your scented lotion, your scented shampoo, and then you're putting your oil or lotion on. Like, it is an experience. I'm a whole new different person after my shower. That is also another blissful moment that I realize is such a mood booster for me. So, anyway, find those things for you and practice them. And that's all for me for now. Have your back. I will talk to you again later in another session. I don't really know how to end this, but I just want you to know that you're not alone and life is short, and this is a season. This is just a season. This is not tips for you to take with you because this is going to last forever. We don't know what is in store for us. We don't know what our future looks like. Let's stay optimistic and treat it as a season and make it a very beautiful season. I'll see you next time.